For those of you guys that have been following me on YouTube only for a while, let me tell you right now that this is not going to be the ordinary newsy kind of show. This is actually going to be a show around a controversial, to say the least, figure from TikTok. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope it doesn't confuse you too much. And for those of you guys that are here from TikTok, thank you, and I hope you enjoy as well.
Quite literally report you to the FBI. Now you're fired.
Get out, TikTok.
Well, this is going to be fun. By the way, if you're interested, this video will be available in its entirety without all the cuts, plus additional commentary over on YouTube. The link is in my bio, or just head over to YouTube and type in the JTH show. So I've made it a bit of a hobby now to go and inspect and admire the platforms of those social justice warriors that exist here on TikTok. Quite frankly, it's fun. As a content creator that focuses on social commentary, I think it's only appropriate, right, that someone else can comment on those people that, well, let's be honest, love to cancel. Some will argue and say, well, it's for the right reasons, and others, well, others will say, F you, mind your business. Now, I do have a list in here of people that I'm like, all right, who's next? And well, today is Danesh. Much like many arbiters that exist in social media, Danesh, or ThatDaneshGuy as he's known on TikTok, has made himself to be the hero for some, but a living embodiment of a nightmare for many. While he has had steady growth on TikTok for hyper-focusing on people like Trump, Christian Walker, Ben Shapiro, and Steven Crowder, in addition to the Republican Party as a whole, his most viral video occurred back in September, in which he openly declared that he was reporting another TikToker to the FBI.
Quite literally report you to the FBI.
So what's the point of this video? Well, after doing extensive research on Danesh, primarily on all the hundreds of videos he has on TikTok, I have come to a very important conclusion. And that is that, in my opinion, Danesh suffers from an undiagnosed case of NPD, or narcissistic personality disorder. Or in layman's term, he's a narcissistic asshole. So for those of you guys that have been following me for a while, you know that I don't like to throw loose accusations out there. I am against having even an opinion sometimes if you don't have any kind of facts, especially when you're trying to point something out from someone else. It doesn't mean that I never do it. It just means that I try really, really hard to make sure I bring the receipts. And Danesh's video is not going to be the exception for that. So yeah, I have a lot of clips to show you guys. But now, for those of you guys that are followers of Danesh, you guys can go watch any of his videos on his platform in their entirety and, quote, get the full context. But for the sake of time, because I don't want to put my followers through countless hours of cringe content, I'm going to go ahead and use clips. But again, if you want to go ahead and say, hey, it's not proper, you're not giving out context, anyone can go watch these same clips on his profile, unless Danesh decides to take them down for whatever reason, which I'm sure has something to do with my video. So get your coffee, get your popcorn, and let's get started. According to the oldest video on his account, it appears that he started posting sometime back in March of 2020. Like many people, he too started posting videos of his dog and his kid. You know, it's all wholesome and nice. And then at one point he went political. In just the first few uploads, he made it very clear that he had a deep disdain for Trump. Now, before we dive into all the evidence together, I first want to make sure that we're all on the same page by what NPD is, or narcissistic personality disorder. Now, a lot of you guys might not know this, but Danesh actually considers himself an entertainer. I believe he did comedy for a few years based on what he shared, and he also did theater back in college. There's even clips like these on the internet of his performance. Now, I say this because, as some of you guys know, I don't mention something just to mention it. It all ties in together somehow. And for that, I first want to turn over to a headline of an article that I found very interesting. And that is, major artists are also major narcissists. Science says. Now, by the way, emphasis on science because Danesh himself is a big believer in science.
What do you think a scientific theory is? It's a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world. It's based on a body of facts that have been repeatedly confirmed through observation and experiment.
After reading the article a couple of times, I then asked myself, well, what is a narcissist, clinically speaking? Which then led me to the next level in this rabbit hole of narcissism, whatever. I had to be upfront about my shortcomings, and I'm not very good at reading out loud. My brain always wants to go faster than my mouth can actually produce words. So for this, we're going to turn over to my lovely assistant and have her read this for us. The article by Dr. Dan Brennan on WebMD. Now let's first start with the symptoms and signs of a narcissist. Take it away, lovely assistant.
Narcissism. Symptoms and signs. Narcissism is extreme self-involvement to the degree that it makes a person ignore the needs of those around them. While everyone may show occasional narcissistic behavior, true narcissists frequently disregard others or their feelings. They also do not understand the effect that their behavior has on other people. It's important to note that narcissism is a trait, but it can also be a part of a larger personality disorder. People who show signs of narcissism can often be very charming and charismatic. They often don't show negative behavior right away, especially in relationships. People who show narcissism often like to surround themselves with people who feed into their ego. They build relationships to reinforce their ideas about themselves, even if these relationships are superficial. Types of narcissism. There are two different types of narcissism that narcissistic behavior can fall under: grandiose narcissism and vulnerable narcissism. The two types can have common traits but come from different childhood experiences.
Now, before we continue, it is important to point out which type, according to this article, does Danesh fits best in when it comes to the two types of narcissists. And for that, well, let's take it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, it is okay for me to judge someone's parenting when they're abusing their child. Let me ask you something.
By his own admission, he fits best in with the vulnerable narcissist.
Vulnerable narcissism. This behavior is usually the result of childhood neglect or abuse. People with this behavior are much more sensitive. Narcissistic behavior helps to protect them against feelings of inadequacy. Even though they go between feeling inferior and superior to others, they feel offended or anxious when others don't treat them as if they're special.
Now that we know the description of a narcissist and which one Danesh fits best with, let's move on with the 5 top traits of a narcissist. Now, in no particular order, I'm going to go ahead and play clip examples for each one of these categories so that we can all start getting a better picture. Right before we jump into that, let's leave something even more clear, and that is from Danesh himself. Danesh, why don't you tell us what you think of people that are narcissists?
If there are people in your life like this, whether it's a relationship or family, cut them out. It's toxic.
All right, you heard it from the man himself. By the way, this is going to be especially important for all the Danesh followers. If you know one of them, by the way, tag them. Number 1.
Sense of entitlement. A common sign of people with narcissism is the belief that they are superior to others and deserve special treatment.
I want to make one thing clear. I'm not being too mean when I defend myself. I make examples of people.
They believe that others should be obedient to their wishes and that the rules don't apply to them.
Anyway, if you guys wanted to take care of this one tonight, since the profile seems to be open, be my guest. The other ones, I'm going to run their usernames in the morning and find out who they are, and I'll take care of those. Good night.
Sense of entitlement. And in this particular example, he says, I'm not being too mean. I make examples out of people. Who would say that? A narcissist.
Got 3 hours of sleep last night. That's not important. Here, this is the guy you're looking for. And here's his Facebook. All right, I'm going to take a nap. If he's not destroyed by the time I wake up, I'll take care of it.
Now, even when he's trying to be funny, notice that the narcissism just irradiates from his body uncontrollably, even when he says he's tired.
Told you you'll be looking for a new job soon, bestie.
Told you you would be looking for a new job, bestie. That sounds a lot like a person drunk with power. Not to mention this one.
If you survive this, I'll make sure you get fired.
Now, another telling aspect of his sense of entitlement is when he makes himself out to be the victim and he wants everyone to just stop.
Am I really the bully? Here are private conversations that I had with Jen, including a voice memo of me begging her to stop. Listen, you can't push somebody mentally and then go, well, why are they reacting out? Why are they reacting? Dude, if, you can't push somebody like that and say it's my fault for how I got upset. If it's my fault for, how I reacted to that, because I'm being pushed beyond my, mental, limit of what I can handle. Of what is, of what I can, live through day to day. I can't handle that. This is, this harassment is beyond repulsive. I mean, I like I said, I don't care if it takes clearing your name, whatever it takes, it just needs to stop. I don't care about finding out who it is, it just needs to stop. It just needs to somehow stop. This is too much.
Right. Now he's a victim. Now people should stop. I don't know where that energy was when he was doing the exact same thing to other people. Anybody can argue and say, well, he wasn't. Yeah, but again, I always say, take responsibility for your followers. Come out and denounce them when you know they're being toxic. I denounce here, and I will denounce on any video anybody wants, any follower that is toxic, any follower that on my behalf, they are committing any type of crime, any type of hateful activities. I denounce you. I don't want you as my follower. The world's already toxic enough. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to surround myself with people that are toxic. But do you see Danesh doing that? No. You haven't seen all his videos. Right. Yeah, some of us do our homework. But let's continue with more of that sense of entitlement.
Your job is instantly gone. Can someone help me identify who she is?
Poof. Your job is instantly gone. Wow. But let's continue. For the second one.
Arrogance.
So these are the top videos that I found that presents the case for arrogance.
People with narcissistic behavior already see themselves as superior to others, so they may become rude or abusive when they don't receive the treatment they think they deserve.
I know for a fact that I'm better than you.
I know for a fact I'm better than you. Wow. Not to mention the ad hominem attacks by referencing another man's, private as a small or something like that. I think anybody would agree that that's pretty arrogant.
While they hold themselves superior, they may speak or act rudely toward those that they deem are inferior.
Oh, I get it. Look, I'm not trying to shame or anything. Someone have a microscope? But what I'm
it would be hard to argue against the fact that if someone calls another person a leech and you don't have value, it would be hard to say that you're not an arrogant individual.
Well, Zach, I believe that you're a leech that has no value in your own existence and can only really get anything if you feed off of another person like myself. Right now, even as your box is this small right now, you perfectly represent the size of a leech, because compared to me, you really are nothing. You really are nothing but a lifeless little animal here that requires sustenance from other people to even be relevant. And right now, you have attention because you're here on my live.
Wow. I often wonder, how can you believe you're still a good human after doing that? Furthermore, how, as a follower of Danesh, can you support that? So I'm not really sure how any of his followers can justify his behavior on that live. I mean, degrading someone like that, belittling someone like that, even if you hate someone, right? Even if you allege that that person has attacked you and you just cannot respect them. Well, first, don't go on live with them. And two, you know what you're doing. You're being a sadistic, manipulative by inviting someone to your comfort zone, as he said on his platform, to just degrade and belittle someone. If that alone doesn't convince you that he's a narcissist bully, then honestly, I guess nothing really will. But in case you're curious, there is more, a lot more. Quick reminder to all of Danesh's followers, those of you guys that claim to do anything and everything he says, just a quick reminder in case you missed it the first time I showed it.
If there are people in your life like this, whether it's a relationship or family, cut them out. It's toxic.
But let's move on to number 3.
Manipulative behavior. Another common trait of narcissism is manipulative or controlling behavior.
I'm just good at scaring people when they threaten me. Don't threaten people online. Can't believe they fell for that. How am I supposed to do that? How would I ever do that? I love that I can scare even profiles with no names, no profile picture.
Now, people with manipulative behavior typically uses terms like "we" in a very tactful way to try to trigger their following.
Thank you to everyone involved in taking down prolifewhistleblower.com. I understand they're going to be back with Epic and we'll be right there waiting for them. We will troll their forums into oblivion. We will make sure that website is always going to be useless. But the way it's going to be set up is that you can send anonymous tips of anti-vax healthcare workers that you know of, and we will go ahead with evidence and we will go ahead and vet those and put it right on the site so that their employers can see. We are going to streamline this shit. Yeah, boy. We are taking all these anti-vax healthcare workers out of healthcare. Oh, what about their precious opinions? We do not care. You are not going to help the virus.
Now, I don't want to rub it in, but do you feel manipulated yet? And if you're not catching on, just go out through history and see the most narcissistic leaders that existed in the world, which, by the way, there were also like dictators and murderers, but I digress. They all use the we over and over and over and over. Do you know why? Exactly, to manipulate you. But let's continue over on part number 5, unless you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, well, let's just continue. Part of that manipulative behavior is him admitting that he's happy about trolling by saying this.
We make websites like prolifewhistleblower.com, which end up motivating petty people like me to make websites of our own.
So there, as you can see, he says, hey, I'm petty and I'm also going to troll you back. But in this video, he says, hey, I was bullied, so you kind of have to understand why I'm the way I am.
I used to get bullied in middle school, and then one day my cousin put my bully in a headlock, and that bully never bothered me again. If he would have been passive, I don't think anything would have changed. In fact, I think he would have started getting bullied too. But it's okay to stand up to bullies. It's actually encouraged.
So again, rules for thee, but not for me. So hey, someone else has their own belief. Maybe they were bullied too, but I'm going to troll you. But hey, did I tell you the time that I was bullied? Sad face. Again, it goes with the manipulative behavior. He knows exactly how to pull his audience's heartstrings. He's like, hey, everybody loves a good bully story, so I'm just gonna say that I was bullied and that's the way I act and I lashed out the way I do. But when I troll, no, I'm not being bullied. But Danesh, as I tell everyone else that I do a video on, live by your own words.
But it's okay to stand up to bullies. It's actually encouraged.
You say you don't like bullies, right? Well, neither do I, and I see you as a bully. But let's move on to our 4th category.
Need for admiration. One of the most common signs of a narcissist is a constant need for praise or admiration.
I told you I would be fair. And I am. I believe I am being fair. I noticed that you were begging and pleading with me.
Wow, spoken like a true king or an emperor or a dictator or just a narcissist. Yeah, hey, I told you I would be fair. I told you. But get a load of this one.
People with this behavior need to feel validation from others and often brag or exaggerate their accomplishments for recognition. They also like to feel appreciated to boost their ego.
Danesh, where is your compassion? I'm vaccinated and wear a mask. That's my compassion.
Here we have, oh merciful King Danesh saying, I have shown you compassion. It is clear here that he's looking for the admiration of his followers. And if you go to the comment section for those videos, it's full of that. He knows exactly, again, how to pull on those heartstrings, right? And saying, hey, look at this poor idiot. I'm gonna be compassionate. What are you gonna do in return for me? You know, as your king. I mean, your warlord. I mean, your influencer. Sorry, your influencer. I mean, your friend. I mean, you get it. Just come on. Tell me how good I am. Tell me how merciful I am. Now, for a lot of you guys will say, oh, he never doxes. No, he's admitted to that. He's played a joke, but he's admitted to that.
Oh, this is child abuse. I better tag that Danesh guy. He'll take care of it. There we go. Get ready to get doxed. There we go. Huh. Danesh still hasn't posted about it. Well, any minute now he will. I'm sure he'll post about it any second now. He's probably doxing them right now as we speak. That's what he's doing. He's at home right now getting all the info, doing his work.
Now for our fifth and final category, we have lack of empathy.
Lack of empathy. This means that the narcissist is unwilling or unable to empathize with the needs, wants, or feelings of other people.
So I get your parents just died and like rip, I guess, and everything, but like, are you still a nurse? This is probably not the best time to hear this, but I'm going to make sure you're not. I can't believe you still won't take the vaccine. And look, she has cancer!
This also makes it difficult for them to take responsibility for their own behavior.
So I was kicked out of the TikTok Creator Fund, but TikTok didn't give me a reason why, but they were nice enough to allow me the opportunity to appeal that decision. So in my appeal, I wrote, "Thank you for the opportunity to appeal this decision, but because you didn't tell me why I was kicked out, I don't know what action or behavior I'm defending." All right, I'm going to go take a nap. If he's not destroyed by the time I wake up, I'll take care of it. First of all, before I completely ruin her life.
Ever I hear a story about a shooter, my immediate thought, and this is common with other people like me, is, God, I hope he's white.
In fact, I feel like he did that on purpose. I feel like he kicked me out, didn't give me a reason, and then expect me to defend this unknown reason.
I actually don't believe Danesh to be a dumb person. He's very aware of what a lack of empathy is. And he is very aware of how much that is a type of disorder. But don't take it from me, Danesh.
Do you know a lack of empathy is like a sign of some sort of personality disorder? Narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial.
Let me tell you that there's no category in this entire series that will show how much of a narcissist Danesh really is than lack of empathy. Now, up to this point, if everything I've shown you is not enough to convince you of the unfortunate narcissism that Danesh suffers from, take a look at the following clips.
You got fired.
He died.
At Shannon Hospital.
Everyone? Okay, good. He died.
I mean, how can anybody justify literally laughing at someone else's demise? And as you can clearly see, by demise, I don't mean like, oh, somebody lost their job, even though I don't find that funny. Or, hey, you know what? Somebody lost their home. Again, not something I would laugh at. But no, someone literally passed away. And his reaction is, I'm going to go ahead and grab my cell phone, record myself laughing at this person's death. Of course, not to mention him literally wishing death upon someone.
This guy's not going to make it very long. Don't worry. This beautiful day will happen very soon. Party at my place.
I mean, from very early on, he even went as far as dancing on someone's grave that hadn't even passed away yet.
Now from the top, make it drop. That's some wet. That's some wet. Now get a bucket and a mop. That's some wet.
So I guess it's hard for me to comprehend why he doesn't understand how he lost monetization. I mean, it felt like it came out of nowhere, didn't it? Now, to put the cherry on top on this video, let me leave you with a little bit of cognitive dissonance that Danesh, of course, also suffers from.
And if you want to try to mass report me, like you guys always do, go ahead. Whatever helps you sleep at night. First thing I do is go to TikTok. And of course, I go to Tyler Blutman's page to report every single one of his videos.
You see, Danesh, when your focus is to just spill more and more hate, you start really crossing your wires, not really knowing what it is that you are standing for anymore. But you know what? As you say, this is really...
What an absolute shit show.
You said it very well. Yes, your platform is exactly that. But you know what? For his followers, you guys already made your mind up. You know that you're going to continue watching him and supporting him despite anything and everything that I already showed to you with proof, of course, right? With receipts. Because unlike other creators that they just, run their mouth and don't ever bring any receipts to light, I don't work like that. I try to create my craft, always showing proof. And for the rest of you, which I believe is a vast majority, well, this just solidifies what we already know about Danesh, which is that he's not the stellar human being that he pretends to be. He is not what he tries to, quote, cancel. And if you made it this far into the video, I just want to leave you with a thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am very humble of all the support that I've been getting over the last few weeks. Again, thank you very much. Make sure you guys leave that like. Make sure you guys share this video. Tag anybody that's like a loyal supporters of Danesh. maybe, just maybe, they'll start to see really what he stands for. And make sure you leave a comment, especially if you ever had an interaction that wasn't pleasant with Danesh, or even if it was pleasant. I'm totally open to hearing both sides. But until the next one, see ya.